We have reached credits, but there's at least one other story in the game. Well, in the first game in the trilogy. So we'll give that one a run. Oh boy. It's been 2 months since Maya left the office. 2 months without a single trial. I had offers, but none I took. And that is, until the day that girl showed up. Oh boy. February 22, 10:02 a.m., Wright & Co. law offices. Why do I come here to the office every day? It's not like I want to work. There you are, finally. Where have you been? My sister's trial is tomorrow. Who are you? It doesn't matter who I am. It only matters who you are. The famous defense attorney, Mia Fey. Oh, you're not Mia Fey, are you? I'm sorry, but Ms. Mia Fey no longer works here. So you are the coffee boy? Phoenix Wright, a defense attorney. Right. Wait. You're the Phoenix Wright? The Phoenix Wright from the Edgeworth murder case? Yes, that's correct. It wasn't Edgeworth who was murdered, though. Well, that's a relief, then. You're better than nobody. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm not taking cases right now. But you're Phoenix Wright, right? The undefeated defense attorney? I actually was defeated last time, but we don't need to talk about that. Look, I'm not accepting any new cases. I'm sorry, but you'll have to try elsewhere. Please, I'm out of time. But please, you have to help. It's my sister. Maya, could it be? Okay, I'll hear you out. Really? Thank you so much. My name's Emma Sky. I'm a scientific investigator. Scientific investigator? Interesting. Alright, what you got to say? Emma, was it? So you're a scientific investigator? Yes, that's right. Is something wrong? No, it's just you seem kind of, jumpy? Or maybe just young. Young? I'll be 16 years old this year. Oh, wait, only 16? I'm set to be formally assigned to forensics in 3 more years. My work is becoming quite well known. At my age, no less. So what exactly is your current position, then? Well, legally speaking, I guess you'd call me an 11th grader. But I'm ready to do my job, at my age, no less. Great, another future professional in training. Right, about the case. So what's this about a case? You said the trial's tomorrow? My sister didn't do it. She wouldn't stab someone with a knife. She wouldn't. She'd totally use poison. So, it's a murder case. I don't care if there's a witness who saw her do it. She didn't do it. I know she didn't do it. It's a scientific fact. And there's a witness. Just talk to her. You have to talk to her. Right, I suppose I will. I promised her I'd bring Mia Fey, but... Well, that's interesting. How would she know Mia? So, you want to be a scientific investigator when you grow up, then? Excuse me? I'm not a child, I'll have you know. Still, it's good to have a go, albeit a very unusual one. I believe investigation should be done scientifically. Don't you? Yeah. Sure can't fault her for a lack of enthusiasm. If this case is handled scientifically, I'm sure my sister's name will be cleared. Your sister? I've been doing research, you know. I'm developing a new scientific method of case investigation. I'll show you when I'm done. I'm looking forward to it. I guess I should get down to the the detention center and talk to her sister. My sister asked for Mia specifically. This Mia Fey person was a few years below her in school. So they went to the same school, huh? She always told me to go with Mia if I ever needed a defense attorney. And, well, I need one. Incidentally, Mia is a woman. Now that you mention it, I guess it is more of a woman's name than a man's. Well, it's nice of you to help your sister out like this. You must be close. Well... Actually, when she gets like she is now, I kind of hate her. But she's my only family. Your only family? What about your parents? They died in a car accident when I was little. Oh, I'm sorry. So we're not gonna tell her that Mia has passed? Oh, and... okay. We'll just go to the detention center, I guess. February 22, detention center, visitor's room. I wonder what's wrong with Emma. She got quiet all of a sudden as soon as we arrived. God, I thought I told you I didn't want visitors. Sorry, ma'am, it's just your sister. No excuses. Or did you not want to raise this yet? Understood, ma'am. What was that all about? Hi, Lana. Funny. I seem to remember specifically telling you not to come here. Perhaps my memory is failing? Look, I didn't want to come here either, okay? But your trial's tomorrow and you still don't have a defense attorney. I'll be the one in court tomorrow. This has nothing to do with you, Emma. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Hey, how do you know me? Mia mentioned you. I've heard quite a bit. I'm sorry, what exactly is it that you do? My name is Lana Sky. I'm Chief Prosecutor for this district. You're a prosecutor? Two sisters, one a lawyer. Could this be a coincidence? Emma? Lana? I mean, they're just like... Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Oh boy. There's something you should know from the start. Which is? The suspect in this case has confessed to the crime. Wait, but the suspect is... me. I did it. Well, Mr. Wright? Well, why don't you begin by telling me exactly what happened? The crime took place yesterday, February 21st, at 5:15 p.m. That's quite specific. It was in the witness deposition. A witness clearly saw me committing the crime. That was a bit of bad luck, wasn't it? The crime took place in the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The body was found in the trunk of my subordinate's car. The prosecutor's office, huh? In your subordinate's car trunk? Classy. I was arrested on the spot, caught red-handed, as it were. Well, that's just great. So, who was the victim? An investigator with the police department. I suppose the correct term is detective. A detective? Death was due to loss of blood. He was stabbed once in the stomach. By you? The death wasn't immediate, but the wound was fatal. I see. Allow me to repeat myself, Mr. Wright. The victim was a detective. You know what that means, don't you? Oh? What? Mr. Wright? What does it mean? Well, it means... The police department will consider it a matter of pride to have me found guilty. They will use any means at their disposal to do so. This case gets worse and worse with everything I learn. So, you're the chief prosecutor? That is correct. I'm responsible for overseeing every trial headed by prosecutors in this district. I make sure the prosecutors have what they need to do the job, and manage every aspect. Those are my responsibilities, in a nutshell. That's an awfully large nutshell. Still, I'm a little surprised. I would think you would recognize the district's chief prosecutor, Mr. Wright. Huh? In fact, it seems impossible you wouldn't. Lana, what happened to your hand? Oh, this? I cut myself by accident. When I stabbed him, that is. Huh? I'm not very good at being a criminal, I suppose. How am I supposed to defend this? Well, if she didn't do it, then she's covering for someone, right? Time to change the subject. Wait, she was in the class ahead of Mia, wasn't she? You were in school with Mia, correct? A few years above her? Emma told you that too, did she? Well, why not? I did drag him all the way here from his office. Well, it seems like he has very little in common with Mia. Hey! He was in law school, I was in my third year, and she was auditing class. She was different than the other students. Different? She was strong, and she'd do anything to become a defense attorney. Anything. That was probably why she was attracted to me. Excuse me? Intellectually attracted. Lana was top of her class in school. I was the best there was. Oh. I'm doing pretty good in school too, by the way. It sounds a bit different when Emma says it. Well, Mr. Wright? Excuse me? As you can plainly see, I'm admitting my guilt. I think it's safe to say there's no way you can take this case. None. But Lana... Why? Why are you doing this to me? You never think of anyone but yourself. Hmm? I know you didn't do it, Lana, I know. So how can you say you did? If I lose you, I'll be all alone. I hate you, Lana. Huh? Mr. Wright? Yes? I believe our discussion here is ended. The rest, I leave to you. Hmm? You mean you're requesting my services as your defense? Don't lose any sleep over it. Your client has confessed, after all. The case is over. Right, I'll do what I can to get to the bottom of this. Lana has confessed to the crime, yes, but something doesn't fit. It's that look in Emma's eyes. There's something else going on here, and I'm going to find out what. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. Huh? About what? My sister. She's not always like that, you know. I just never expected to be defending another prosecutor again. She's changed a lot. She used to be so gentle, always smiling. Everybody liked her. Except maybe the people she prosecuted? Let's see. Sorry, but I'm having trouble imagining that. What happened to her? I don't know for certain myself. I think maybe she... no, maybe not. Sounds like there's something there that defies a simple scientific explanation. Let's go check out this underground parking at the prosecutor's office, shall we? Okay. There you go. Underground parking lot. February 22, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. So this is the lot where it all happened? Looks like they're still investigating. Funny that my first visit to the prosecutor's office should be like this. Hey everyone, keep up the good work! Hey, what are you thinking? Well, they are going to meet my co-workers 3 years from now, after all. No harm in saying hello. Actually, there is. You know attorneys aren't supposed to examine crime scenes. I'm trying not to stand out too much here, see. Hey there. Expecting to go unnoticed here, partner. Partner? What do we have here? Looks like a bambina got loose from the ranch and is up to no good. Folks gotta learn to keep them doggies tied down, partner. Mr. Marshall. Marshall? Oh, looks more like a sheriff to me. Looky here, bambina, I know how you feel. But this is my gang's gold strike, see? Strike? This is our claim, our territory, with a motherload of evidence. If you're fixing to mess with what's ours, you'll regret it, partner. You know what dreams a cacti out in the desert dream? Do you want to? What's this guy talking about? You head along home now. Happy trails, bambina. Yeah, that ain't right at all. Was that, hombre a friend of yours? Kind of? Sort of? Yeah, he's a detective. Who thinks he's a sheriff from the Wild West, it seems. Alright. The old crime scene. And other stuff. This is where the cars leave the lot. The arrow on the ground makes it look more like an entrance. What are you talking about? It's plainly an exit. Well, maybe it's both. Kind of a dual purpose? The Theory of Relativity! What? I've got to write this down. Hey, Mr. Wright. Maybe you know, was Mr. Relativity German? Or was he British? Mr. Relativity? Are you sure that was his name? Oh! Can't touch that. It's not the right color. No matter how interesting it looks. What's this? A wallet? Excuse me, officer? Wait, what are you doing, Mr. Wright? What am I doing? I just found this wallet, so I'm handing it over to the police. I don't believe it. This is real basic. Anything at a crime scene is evidence. Let's be scientific about this, please. Just put it in your pocket. How is that scientific? Sounds like theft to me. Wallet hastily stuffed into pocket. A foldable wallet found at the crime scene. There seems to be something inside.